Is this a game at a neutral site? Or is it a game on a Coastal North home floor? I would lean towards the latter. Could be the former. As we get your second of two underway, the opening game was a ladies' contest, and it was won by Baton Rouge by a final of 74-51. Got some new faces on the floor to begin this one for the Coyotes. You've got Odell Purifoy. That's an old-timer, so to speak. You've got Elijah Pippins. He has started 3 games. Joshua Whitehurst starting 3 games as well. But 2 new faces belonging to Brittany Polk-Reed and Gerard Living. Those are 2 new starters for the Coyotes. Whitehurst with a miss on the 3. Meanwhile, on the other side of the floor for the Bears, McKenna Savoy, Awak Machar, Christian Myers, Courtney McCarthy, and Dylan Dominique getting the starting nod for Baton Rouge. In the paint, Myers sat on the rim and drops in. Sit around the horn to Purifoy. Whitehurst with it out front. Brought out of the corner by Purifoy, eventually over to Pippins. Everything thus far outside of the arc. 3 ball off the rim. That was Living trying the 3. Over to Dominique. Dominique with a miss. Purifoy grabs it. 2 minutes in and a 2-zip game. Zip down low to Living. Backing his way in. It's that high percentage shot for 2, and we're tied. I mentioned we were originally slated to go to Monroeville, as it is stolen away by Pittman, and the Coyotes have got their first lead. But a little longer trip, not much, 20 minutes or so. For me, for Baton Rouge, maybe a little bit shorter, not much, maybe 20 minutes or so. Savoy sticking into the corner. Machar, and eventually into the hands of McCarthy. Stripped away, Pippins has got it. Swatted high into the air, Reed able to track it down. Purifoy out front. Pippin with a give to Living. Wide open down low is Reed. Coyotes by 4. Drained from long range by Savoy. Reed giving it to Purifoy, down low to Living. Living got the look he wanted, just couldn't get it to fall. That's a lean in and foul. Leaning in is McCarthy. And let's see who committed the foul. The body on the floor belonged to Pippins. And let's see if Pippins is the guy that committed the personal. Well, the official's talking. Maybe it's not cut and dry who committed the foul. There it is. It is Pippins. So Pippins picking up the personal. Baton Rouge going to the stripe with an opportunity to tie it and take the lead. McCarthy, 57 points and 3 outings. Very good free throw shooter, 10 of 12 coming in. This is a good free throw shooting Bear team. When I look down the roster, I'm seeing 4 of 6, 9 of 10, 1 of 2, 3 of 3. It's right down the line. Very good free throw shooting. Purifoy with a miss, Living with a putback. Coyotes winners of 2 in a row. Coming in with a 3-2 mark. They are 2-0 away, and, well, this is away from Monroeville. Got a media timeout, 15:28 to play. Half number 1, Coyotes by 2.
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone. Because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. Here, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, Coyotes. That's the Pack. That's Coastal Alabama.
Enjoying their basketball here. Is that a Michigan shirt? Or is that a Mississippi Gulf Coast shirt? I mean, not that it matters. You can have your favorite team. Doesn't have to be a northern or southern team. Whoever you root for, we're good with it. But here at Jack Robertson Arena, looking for a few more Coyote fans than anybody else. Put in play for the baseline coming out of the media timeout. First one of the ball game. Out front it goes to McCarthy, leans in, then does the scoop. To have at least a... Well, I thought we had a new face on the floor for the Coyotes. We don't. Let's see if we've got anybody new for the Bears yet. We do not. So the same 5 that started the game on both sides of the floor cleared through the timeout. Follow-up good from Myers. Pippins with it, top side. 2-point Bears lead, Purifoy to Reed. That is thrown away into the hands of Savoy. And Savoy has it tipped away, got it back out front to Machar. And you got a jump ball, Myers and Reed. And it'll be Coastal Alabama with the basketball, the possession arrow pointing in favor of the Coyotes. Coming up at the half, it is our edited version of the JUCO Rush. Talking about this week's junior college football. As I've mentioned previously, it's about a 30-minute show, reduced to about 13. So you can watch it in its entirety on YouTube. Stolen away by Purifoy. Jams it in. Thinking about the 3, McCarthy puts it on the floor, shoots from the elbow. And it's a 2-point game. 12-10 ball game, 13:30 left to play here in half number 1. Over to Purifoy, feeds it to Reed. Trying to sneak in for the backside, McCarthy. That will go off Savoy and out of bounds. So the Coyotes will maintain possession. And now we'll get some wholesale changes. Both teams making changes. Now Terrius Beasley into the game for the Coyotes. Also coming in is Xander Stevens. Meanwhile, the Bears putting Jack King in. They've got LaRon Lewis Jr., Carnez Norman, Desmonte Gradney, and Chad Jones. So the Coyotes go with 2 new faces. And the Bears stick 5 new guys in. I believe a reset of the 30-second clock to 10. Beasley short but bumped. That'll be charged to Norman. Beasley shooting. A 75% free throw shooter. Averaging a hair over 6 points a game. Hits the first and ties it up with the second. Gradney with a handoff to King. Back into the hands of Gradney. King again, top side. Shot clock into single digits. And there is the 3 ball from Jones. Stevens over to Purifoy, top side to Whitehurst. Pippins with Gradney defending. Works his way top of the key near the elbow. Top side give goes to Whitehurst. That's a long 2. It's a little bit too long. Norman with the rebound. Gradney. And the 3 ball banked off the window by Jones. Back-to-back Jones threes, extending the lead to 6. That is Whitehurst for 3. Slices that lead in half. Gradney with a drive, rolling around the cylinder, comes off, Purifoy with it. Feeds over to Whitehurst, wants another 3, too strong. And he steps out trying to retrieve. Timeout on the floor, it is of the media variety. Bears by 3 with 11:20 to play in half number 1.
There once was a young coyote.
You're fired.
He found himself ill-suited for the jobs of the world. He struggled to compete in the corporate environment.
This isn't working out.
And failed at the simplest of tasks.
I think I'm gonna have to let you go.
No matter how hard he tried, his coyote hands were just not meant for regular jobs.
That guy is fired.
Until one day, when he was hired for the perfect job. To become a mascot. And then he found the place where he could thrive. Find the place where you thrive at Coastal Alabama Community College.
(11-11) left to play in the half. King with the miss, Beasley with the board. As we get action back underway coming out of the Bears timeout. It turned into a media break. Purifoy to Whitehurst. That is Elijah Lewis who has checked into the game. Over to Lewis. Whitehurst in the corner. Quickly to defend is Norman. Shot up, no good. King with the rebound. First Saturday game of the year for the Coyotes. They've played on every other day. Well, not every, but a lot of other days. But first time for a Saturday game. For the men Coyotes, the Lady Coyotes have already played some Saturday basketball. Here comes William Page into the game for the Coyotes. Pippen getting his first break. King putting it in play from the baseline on the opposite end of the floor. Hey, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Man, would we love for you to. And not only do you have access when you subscribe to games, but shows, interviews, and more. And there should be a subscribe button nearby. Close by. And yeah, we got a goal, shooting for 5,400 currently. Now, I can't say that is going to be the only goal or the final goal. As a matter of fact, I can say there will be others and higher. And rattles in for Gradney. Page taking it to the other end of the floor. Over to Whitehurst. Lewis might have taken an elbow to the face. Right about the time his head jerked backwards, there was a whistle and a foul's been called on Lewis. It'll be brought in from the baseline. In a 5-point game with less than 10 to play in the half. Page, top side. Puts up the jumper from 6 feet out off the rim. Lewis with the rebound. Into the corner to King. Shoots the three and hits the three. Averaging a little better than 7 a game. And that lead will expand to 8. Page working it right side, goes into the corner. Lewis out of the corner. Leans in, able to get around King for 2. Out of the corner comes Lewis, and there is a whistle. And that is another Lewis. Same last name, at least pronunciation-wise, spelled differently. The Lewis for the Bears, L-O-U-I-S. The Lewis for the Coyotes, L-E-W-I-S. Sent out front to L-O-U-I-S, and he misses. Out of bounds, Coyotes with it. Whitehurst coming out for the first time in the contest. Beasley getting back into the game. Over it goes to Purifoy. Fires into the corner. Out of the corner comes Lewis into the paint. High off the glass for two. And then lead down to 4. And a whistle and foul. And that is going to be charged to Page. Here comes Christian Crapel into the game for the Bears. Courtney McCarthy back in. King goes out and Lewis goes out. In play to Crapel. And then Dominique putting up the 3. It's an air ball. And Beasley's bumped out of bounds, but it will be Bear basketball apparently getting Beasley last. And there is a timeout on the floor. It is a media break, and I think Chuck Taylor is going to, well, he pointed at the clock, but I think he was talking about that little bump that Beasley got. Some Baton Rouge bus drivers checking out the basketball here inside the Jack Robertson Arena. Making the, about 4.5 hour drive over from Baton Rouge. Well, it's about 4.5 the way I drive. The way you're supposed to drive, it's probably more like a 5.5 hour drive. Inside 8 to play, half number 1. At the half, we're talking with Mike Frazier. I am. He is the co-host of the JUCO Rush. And we'll be talking about junior college football. Big weekend. The playoff picture clears significantly today in junior college. And as a matter of fact, we may have, depending on who wins what, might already have your 4 teams for all practical purposes. Again, depending on who wins. Shot clock violation for the Bears. Page to the Coyote end of the floor. I think we're pretty sure that Georgia Military College and Hutch are now in. Iowa Western would get in with a win today, and I kind of think Northwestern Mississippi gets in with a win today. If one or the other loses, then might have to wait another week to know who is in the Final Four in JUCO football. Into the corner to Norman, and Norman will send it over to Crapel, who misses the 3. Coyotes with a chance to cut it to 1. Purifoy short. Rebounded by Dominique. Purifoy tracking down the loose ball. Got the shot off, couldn't get it to fall, drew the foul, and will have a chance at the line. Purifoy, a 28% free throw shooter. That is hard to believe for such a good shooter. Maybe just hasn't had many trips to the line. Maybe like 3 shots and made 1. Okay, that would be 33 and a third. Well, he makes them both. Maybe the stats are accurate, and he is a 28% free throw shooter coming into the game, but he's 2 for 2 thus far today. McCarthy putting up a brick. Page with a board. Stevens able to track it down and then misfires trying to get it to Page. And it'll be jammed in by Norman. And I think we're resetting the shot clock. Let's see. Yep, putting it back to 26. Stevens coming out of the game. Back in is Pippins. Page coming out. Back in is Reed. Put in play by Purifoy over to Pippins. Purifoy top side. Out of the corner comes Lewis. Back over to Purifoy. Lewis will put up the 3. Rattles it in and out. Reed coming down with the board. Trying to clear some space. Gives to Purifoy. Puts it up. No good. Myers grabs it. Living does too. Got a jump ball. Neither one of them want to give up on the effort. Baton Rouge will have it. Bashar giving over to McCarthy. And there is the 3 ball from Savoy. Over to Purifoy. Feeding it down low, Reed. Pippins in the paint. Reed with a give to Purifoy. Purifoy, the little hook shot not falling. Loose ball. Lewis nearly had it. Instead, the Bears do. Given over to Crapel. Out of the corner comes McCarthy. And Crapel walks, or as we used to say on the playground, up and down. Were we the only ones that had that basketball vernacular back in the Sandlot days, up and down? I'm probably telling my age. That is a pre-1970 playground vernacular. Hand it over to Living. Living, high off the glass. Loose ball, Pippin able to get it. Over to Whitehurst. Reed from the charity stripe for 2. Basketball next week here. It is Delgado and Coastal Alabama North. And when I'm talking about here, I'm talking about JockJive. It may or may not be played on this floor. I actually think Coastal South has got some basketball on Thursday as well. And if my often failing me memory is correct, it might be LBW coming to Bay Minette for a Coastal South game. That'll be off Whitehurst. So if the Coastal North floor is not ready, I am not sure where they would play on Thursday. But I am sure there is a contingency plan. Timeout on the floor.
When you're starting something new, it's never easy. You're going to make mistakes. You'll doubt yourself. But you're in a place that wants you to succeed, thrive. And soon, it will just start to feel right. Suddenly, you'll get it. Your fear will turn to confidence. First-time tasks become second nature. And what seemed impossible is right in front of your eyes. Because once the light bulb goes on, there's no turning back. You may wonder how you got here, and be glad you did. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
Young lady enjoying her basketball and her music here in the Jack Robertson Arena. 3:48 away from halftime. JUCO rush coming up at the half. And an air ball on the three from Crapel as the shot clock sounds. And it'll be the Coyotes with the basketball with 3:45 to play. Fed over to Reed from Purifoy. Out of the corner will come Whitehurst. He'll hit the bucket and get hit. Has a chance for a three-point play. And an opportunity for the Coyotes to turn it into a two-point game. Kylan Caesar into the game for the Bears. Whitehurst trying to cap off the three. Does. It's a two-point game. Machar getting it over to Jones. Jones leans in with one hand. Follow-up by Myers is good. Purifoy packing it up to the timeline. Hands off to Pippins. Screen set by Living. Pippins brings it to the right side, gives over to Whitehurst. 4-point game, trying to make it one was Pippins, misfires, and Myers with the rebound. Fed into the corner. Caesar off on the three try. From the corner, Purifoy rattling in the three ball. Turns it into a 1-point game. Handed over to Jones, taken away by the Coyotes, who've got the numbers. Purifoy giving the lead back to the home team. Picking up the dribble, Machar. Topside give goes to Jones. Swatting around, Pippins has got it. Whitehurst into the corner to Purifoy. That is Pippins for three. Rebounded by Caesar. Spin move off the rim for Savoy. Inside a minute to go in half number one. Coyotes trying to take a lead into the locker room at halftime. Whitehurst to the elbow, back to Purifoy. Whitehurst left open for the three off the rim. Caesar with the rebound. Caesar for three, and he's got it. Boy, he came into the game just a few moments ago, and it's certainly made an impact since entering. Coyotes playing for the last shot of the half, hoping to have the lead 20 minutes into the game. Whitehurst for three, off the rim. Jones from midcourt, and he'll get a light fixture. Rattling the top of the rafters here. A 2-point ball game headed to the locker room at halftime. Coyotes and Bears on JockJive. Well, we promised you a halftime called the JUCO Rush. We'll do that in 30.
And welcome into the JUCO Rush. I'm Mike Fraser. He's Robert Williamson. This is where we talk JUCO football, and a lot to talk about tonight as the NJCAA playoffs. They're on the horizon, Robert. We're getting close to money time in the NJCAA, big fella.
Hey, man, this is exciting. And, man, you got some of the best teams in the country still playing football this week, despite the fact that the regular season is over. You got the conference playoffs and more. Loving every minute of it.
Man, and you look at the way things are shaping up, it could be a clean-cut situation for the committee if certain teams win. We'll dive into that in a moment. Or it could be wild and crazy with a bunch of two-loss teams, and we'll talk about that as we dive into the JUCO Rush, brought to you by Pepsi. Allen Beverages down in Gulfport, Mississippi. They respect and they understand the importance of community college athletics and an education. Allen Beverages down in Gulfport, proud partners of the JUCO Rush. Let's take a look at the NJCAA top 15, and you see right there, no changes at the top. Iowa Western remaining number one. There's Hutchinson, bouncing at the door at 3. Georgia Military, a solid performance, beat a good Lackawanna team, Robert. And you see those two lost teams banging on the door on the NJCAA top 15, partner.
Man, and I'm going to stick with it. You know, I started the first week of the year, and now here we are in the latter stages. And so far, that is the fact that we're going to have all one-loss teams and no two-loss teams. I'm sticking with that prediction, although this week could change that stuff around quite a bit.
Getting dicey. And let's take a look at the JUCO Rush top 6 teams as we dive into this here as we wind down the last couple of games here in the regular season. I'm going to go first. You look at mine there. I've got, of course, Iowa Western at number 1. I still like Hutchinson at number 2. Georgia Military there at number 3. And then you look down the list there, Northwest, just a quality win over a very good Mississippi Gulf Coast team. And then you see my 5 and my 6 slots as I have those 2 teams banging on the door. East Central in that number 6 seed. I've got Navarro up there as well, Robert.
Man, I toyed with putting Navarro in my top 6.
What held you back? What held you back?
Do what?
What held you back?
I don't know. I guess I'm waiting until we get a couple of games into the postseason. You got the semifinals this week taking on Cisco and then the championship. I do think it is very possible in my top 6 that Navarro moves Snow out, but it's based on how they perform over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, you see there with your teams up there, you still like Georgia Military in the 2 slot, don't you?
Definitely should be the number 2 team, Mike. I mean, we've talked about this previously, and we're going to rehash old news. And 2, I noticed where the NJCAA polls are concerned, they've actually got Hutch and Georgia Military both with the same total number of points, 135. To me, that almost looks like a poised to leapfrog the Bulldogs if Hutch wins this week, which I don't agree with. I think Georgia Military College is worthy of the number 2 spot. I like Hutch, obviously. They're a great team. But Georgia Military, quality wins on the road. Lackawanna, number 9 in the country. Tyler beat them in Texas. Snow beat them in Utah. Georgia Military deserves the 2 ranking.
Look, even though I have Georgia Military in the 3 slot, I think, Robert, just my experience at covering the NJCAA, I think Georgia Military is a lock with the committee at the number 2 seed. I wouldn't put much thought into those points. I just think the committee, I just don't think they're going to leapfrog Hutch if they beat Garden City here this weekend. So I think Georgia Military stays locked in that 2 slot, even though I would put them at the 3. But I like I said, I think they're locked and loaded. No need to fear, Robert. I think Georgia Military, according to in the committee's eyes, will remain on the 2 line.
Let me say this, though. Here's the interesting thing going into this weekend. Georgia Military is the only team that is guaranteed a top 4 finish. They've wrapped up their season at number 2. And Iowa Western, Hutch, and Northwest Mississippi have all still got games to go.
Yes, they do. And later on, we'll talk about those 2 lost teams. You're right. Does Iowa Western, with a loss this late in the year, if they lose at Highland, does that drop them out of the 4 slot? I find that hard to believe, but they would certainly be on the fence. And my goodness, what about Hutch? What if Hutch falls to Garden City? Look, Kiyoshi and Garden City, they're going to be ready. They're going to give Hutch their best shot. And with DeJuan Lacey there at running back, I don't think this is going to be a 38-0 game like it was with Iowa Western. So, man, that is something the committee wants to avoid. They just want to – look, it's nice and clean cut for the committee, right, Robert? If Northwest wins, they're 10-1. They're going to get a playoff spot. Iowa Western wins, it's obvious. They're going to host and get a playoff spot. If Hutchinson wins, I guess the only drama would be, do they leapfrog Georgia Military? But it would be a very easy committee meeting as they sit around the table and figure out who gets in. But if not, Robert, it's mayhem, my friend.
Oh, indeed it is, with a ton of 2-loss teams and even some 2-loss teams outside of our top 6. I mean, you've got Navarro, I don't. I've got Snow, you don't. But there's also Mississippi Gulf Coast. There's also Coffeyville, 2-loss teams. I don't think they've got a chance, though, by the way.
No, they don't.
I think those 2 are out.
Yeah, I think the only 2-loss team that's not on my board is Snow. And you see the NJCAA has Snow at number 5. Snow, I think, plays Sussex this weekend. They're going to win that game, be at 9-2. So the Snow, it's a long shot. They're behind the 8 ball. Lots got to roll their way. So, yeah, Gulf Coast won't make it. Their season's over. You look at those 2-loss teams. Coffeyville won't make it. They lost head-to-head to Hutch. And I think they also collected a win due to the forfeiture of the Garden City. So Coffeyville's not in the picture at all.
Your team or business to truly stand out, look no further than SportFX Designs. They specialize in high-impact sport graphics that demand attention. Whether it's custom animated logos, sleek animations, or full branding solutions, SportFX Designs delivers professional eye-catching visuals that elevate your brand. Head over to www.sportfxdesigns.com and see how they can bring your visions to life.
Go ahead, another great kid, huh? Mason Shorb.
Yeah.
Getting it done on the field, first-class young man. And again, these are the stories. You see these guys down here at the JUCO level, man. These are good football players, and they're good kids too. So happy to see people who are good at their craft and are good people be successful. And I'm with you. He's going somewhere. We'll just have to wait and see here in December or maybe in February. So, yeah, man, those were two good guys, man. And again, I'm salty that I couldn't get in here to do these interviews. I mean, you did a great job with them, but man, those are two guys that really have been following them all year. Really wanted to talk to them, but heck, if Navarro gets the job done, maybe we have him back on. And look, Landon Vessel, another good-looking quarterback for Cisco. I mean, that's a game I'm looking forward to watching this weekend, man. I mean, what a job Cisco has done. That program has been resurrected, and they're playing good football. And Texas, again, they beat each other up, and here they are in their postseason. 4 quality teams going at it, Robert.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, the conference games this weekend, Texas and Mississippi, they're just terrific ball games. I mean, you're not getting a slouch in the Lone Star State nor in Mississippi this weekend.
Yeah, that JUCO Weekly Trophy is just starting to come around the corner, December the 17th. We're about a month out from that right now. So let's take a look at the JUCO Weekly Trophy, Chase, and let's see what we have here. My guys, you see some of these same names. Hunter Decker's the guy that's up there. Waymon Jordan, Demarion Petit for me. Keenan Phillips, man, just grinding it and just bringing it every week. That's a guy that's made my list, and it's going to be hard for him to get off my list here as we go down the stretch. Darian White right there as well, getting it done, Robert.
Oh, yeah, and on my list, I've got 3 that I just feel like are definitely in. And that's Deckers, Petit, and Jordan. I mean, they have consistently, game in, game out. Petit, a little off last week, 18 carries, 45 yards. Mm-hmm. And in my book, if you have a couple of those games in a season, well, I mean, it's been a great year. But are you still in the hunt for the JUCO Weekly Trophy? We'll see. But I list my last 2 as up for grabs because there are so many different names that could drop in. Keenan Phillips obviously is one. I think we talked to one today, or maybe even 2 today, with Sincere Bowers and Mason Shorb. And then, of course, you got the 2 linebackers from Tyler, and on the list goes. So I got my solid 3 and my maybe 2.
Oh, Noah Fleming's another one, talented football player as well. Tavion Atkinson, good-looking defensive end. He's up there in the sack. So, yeah, no doubt that JUCO Weekly Trophy will be presented December 17th down in Texas, the night before the national championship game, and we are pumped and excited about that event. Before they can get to that game December 18th, they've got a playoff they've got to get to.
Agreed.
All right, let's go to our rush powered by Pepsi as we take a look here at our games here. I've got East Central at Northwest. Give me the Rangers of Northwest. Cisco and Navarro. I like Landon Vessel, but I also like Mason Shorb. I also like Navarro. I think they're playing really well. Give me Navarro.
I've got my games of the week, East Central and Northwest, just like you do, and I'm going with Northwest. I'm going with the other semifinals in the SWJCFC, and that is Navarro and Cisco, and I'm picking the Bulldogs.
Then you're taking who?
The Bulldogs of Navarro.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. There are the games. A lot of great JUCO football this weekend. Check it out. If you get a chance to go to a game, definitely go. If not, check it out online. These are really good football players, good football games. Looking forward to watching them this weekend. That's a wrap on the JUCO Rush for Robert Williamson down in Florala, Alabama. I'm Mike Frazier here in downtown Chicago. We thank you so much for watching the JUCO Rush. We also thank Pepsi, our proud partner of the JUCO Rush. Until next week, so long, everybody.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
2-point ball game at the half. Bears with the lead, and right in the middle of that group is Chuck Taylor. What a job he has done here at Coastal Alabama North, now in his third year. Has set the expectations high for the Coyotes and for the fans of the Coyotes. 33-31 halftime Bear lead as we get half number 2 underway. Purifoy to put it in play. And for the Coyotes, same starting 5 in half number 2 as compared to half number 1. Purifoy, Reed, Living, Pippins, and Whitehurst. On the other side of the floor for the Bears is Purifoy. Lays it up and in. You've got the same crew too, with one exception, and that one exception is Gradney instead of Dominique. Otherwise, Savoy, Machar, Myers, and McCarthy. 33 each. Pippins with the rebound and an opportunity for the Coyotes to grab their first second half lead. Whitehurst sending it down low to Living. Living off the rim. Rebounded by Meyer. And it is Machar who will bring it to the top of the key, then into the corner with a toss to Gradney. Gradney for 2, and the lead back into the hands of the Bears. Given to Whitehurst. Coyotes trying to either tie or take the lead depending on shot selection. That one would give a tie, instead missed by Reed. Got a block by Living. Reed will pick up a loose ball. McCarthy was the guy shooting for the Bears. Trying to get the alley-oop, and Purifoy can't finish it, tipped away. Off the glass for Savoy. Reed with it. Purifoy dropping it in, tying the game at 35. Gradney working it out front. Hands it over to Machar. Out of the corner, Savoy. Back into that corner to Machar. Into the paint. Lost. It is retrieved by Pippins. To the other end of the floor. Whitehurst the lay in, and the Coyotes by 2. Coyotes trying to improve that mark to 4-2 on the young year. Gradney flipping it back to McCarthy. McCarthy off the glass. Purifoy looking down low, gives to Whitehurst. Back into the corner, Purifoy. That is Pippin with it on this side. Drives, lays it up, got fouled from the backside by Myers. So a 2-shot foul for Pippins, a 42% free throw shooter on a team that hits about 58% of their free throws. Pippin 12 points a game, number 3 on the team in scoring, behind Washington, who is not playing tonight. Averaging 17 a game, has started 3 of the previous 5 games, but not playing in this one. Number 2 scorer on the team is Whitehurst with 15, and then you've got Pippins with 12. And Pippins at the line. And a new face on the floor, Dominique, new for the second half. He started the first half, but just entered the competition in half number 2, retrieved by Gradney on the miss. Also into the game is Jack King, who had some first half minutes for the Bears, and now on the floor in half number 2. Put in play from the baseline by McCarthy. Lobbed in play to Norman in the game. There is the jumper from McCarthy. Back onto the floor with the toss to King. Norman's got it. Cross court with a give. Jumper from McCarthy. Rattles it in from long 2-point range. Stolen away. Dominique lays it up and in. And that will prompt a Coyote timeout. 15:47 to play. And a 41-39 visitors lead.
When you're starting something new, it's never easy. You're going to make mistakes. You'll doubt yourself. But you're in a place that wants you to succeed, thrive. And soon, it will just start to feel right. Suddenly, you'll get it. Your fear will turn to confidence. First-time tasks become second nature. And what seemed impossible is right in front of your eyes. Because once the light bulb goes on, there's no turning back. You may wonder how you got here, and be glad you did. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
A little extracurricular activity here in the stands of Jack Robertson Arena. I do some work for South Georgia Tech, and there they take my camera feed and put it on the big screen in the gymnasium. So when you catch little, things going on, my, how things will change once they see their face up on that big screen. Here it is, 15:35 that's left on the game clock in a 41-39 game. Lewis into the ball game, misfires from just outside of the paint. Ball went out of bounds, last got a Bear. And we've got another break in the action. One or the other may have been immediate timeout. 15-20 to go.
We are the Pack. We are Coyotes. We are Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
When the music's playing, you gotta be dancing. 15-20 to go, 41-39 ball game. Visiting Bears trying to sweep it today. The Coyotes trying to get a split in them in after the ladies lose the opening contest 74-51. Lady Coyotes now 1-5 on the year, but none of that conference play. All that matters as far as postseason is concerned is how you fare in the conference. And that will start in about a month, mid-December-ish. Purifoy got a jump on him. The possession arrow takes us to the other end of the floor. Given down low to Norman, then into the corner. Gradney off on the three. Living with the rebound, kicks it out to Page into the game. And it'll be tipped out of bounds. Last got McCarthy. Well, maybe not. Apparently last got a Coyote. And it'll be the Bears with possession, still in a 2-point game. Over to Norman. Giving to Dominique, into the corner to King. Off the rim, Living with it. Nearly stolen away. Page off on the 3 try. And then skying over everybody, Page to come down with the board. And you're going to have a foul called on Beasley. Dominique able to get rid of it to McCarthy. Down low, wide open. Norman trying to recover where the Coyotes couldn't. Norman the bucket. The and 1. And the foul underneath. Going to be called on Beasley. Norman will shoot, the freshman. Getting his 3rd start of the year today. Misfires on the and 1. Page, topside handoff goes to Purifoy. Back over to Page. A 4-point Bear lead. Lewis leans in. Shot over Norman, no good, but the living put back is. In the corner to King. Off the glass, tipped out of bounds. King did it. Coyotes will have it. Whitehurst back into the ball game for the Coyotes. Checking into the game for the Bears is Lewis. Tipped away, then taken right back. Dominique nearly stole it. Page able to grab it back. Give it over to Stevens. Back into the corner to Whitehurst. Whitehurst banging it off the leg of Norman, and then Norman threw it out of bounds. So Coastal keeps it. Whitehurst to put it in play from in front of the Coyote bench. Now so to Page. From outside of the paint, wide right on the Page jumper. King's got it out front. Got the lead in from Gradney. And it will be touched out of bounds by a Coyote. Bears will have possession. Put in play to King. Handed back over to Dominique, looking out front. That's where Lewis is currently stationed, but instead Dominique with a give to Gradney, and it looked like the arm went backwards from Gradney, which probably is why we got the whistle. He hit the bucket anyway. Three-point play opportunity for Gradney. And he'll hit it. Coyotes putting Jonathan Fitch into the game. His first appearance in the contest. Pippin's back in. Page and Whitehurst coming out. Meanwhile, King has exited the game. And Myers is back in for the Bears. Lewis feeding it down low. Living with a jumper. That's 1-5 over the other. Quickly Dominique to the other end of the floor. Swatted away by Living. Pippen hitting the bucket. And it's a 1-point game. Down low in the jam by Myers. Screen set by Living. Stevens into the ball game. And it's Fitch throwing it away. McCarthy back over to Dominique. Got a couple of Coyotes set to re-enter the contest. Reed one, I believe that's Purifoy the other. Tipped away into the hands of Pippins. Down it goes to Lewis, and Lewis off the rim, both sides. Rebounded by Myers. Off the glass. There is a whistle and foul. And that is going to be charged to Stevens. The foul shots come after the media timeout with 10:14 to play. And the Bears up by 3.
There once was a young coyote.
You're fired.
He found himself ill-suited for the jobs of the world. He struggled to compete in the corporate environment.
Yeah, this isn't working out.
And failed at the simplest of tasks.
I think I'm gonna have to let you go.
No matter how hard he tried, his coyote hands were just not meant for regular jobs.
That guy is fired.
Until one day, when he was hired for the perfect job. To become a mascot. And then he found the place where he could thrive. Find the place where you thrive at Coastal Alabama Community College.
.10-14 left, 3-point game. Anybody's contest. Dominique at the stripe. .18 points, 3 games, 6 each. And according to stats, hasn't missed from the stripe. Perfect trip there, 2 for 2. Out front to Reed, given over to Purifoy. 5-point ball game. Tons of time left. Whitehurst from just outside of the paint. Give it over to Gradney. Myers, hand off to Dominique. Shot clock into single digits, fed into the corner. Lewis for three off the rim. Retrieved by Dominique. That is McCarthy driving. Got it to drop and drew the foul. So an opportunity for the three-point play for McCarthy. Hey, don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. I guess we got to do like everybody else is doing, right? Blue Sky, the new social media rage, I guess, at the moment. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you don't mind, I mean, none of those are demands, all requests. Shot clock violation. And now the officials will discuss. Well, let's see if we can take a look and see. Well, there is no light on the backboard that kind of gives you an indication. Now our clock is tied in with the clock on the other side of the floor. So we can look and see if time had expired when the shot was taken. And of course, if the game ends with more than a 2-point separation, it's really irrelevant. And I guess it's irrelevant regardless, as the game has gone on in a 53-49 game. Dominique with a miss topside. Purifoy's got it. Brings it inside. Shot missed. Reed able to get it back. Goes over to Whitehurst. In hot pursuit, McCarthy and Whitehurst. The bucket and the foul. And there is a timeout on the play. I think it's the media timeout. Hey, we're media. Let's take a break.
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone. Because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. Here, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, coyotes. That's the pack. That's coastal Alabama.
Well, there's the little lady that does a lot of dancing with all of the music, and there's an example of me dancing. I can move the leg a little bit, but tap the toe a tad. That's about the extent of it. (53-51). By the way, I went back and looked at that shot. Did Purifoy get it off prior to the end of the 30-second clock? No. When I went back and looked at the replay and compared to the clock, time had expired. Officials got it right. 2-point game could become a 1-point game. Whitehurst at the stripe. He hits 54% of his free throws and has made it a 1-point game. McCarthy out to Dominique, tipped away by Reed into the hands of Pippins. Coyotes trying to take the lead, and we may have a goaltend. And we do. So the bucket counts. And the Coyotes on top. Still a 1-point game, but a Coyote lead. Not a bare lead at the moment. Dominique. Over to McCarthy, back to Dominique. That is a Savoy 3. Purefoy with a give over to Reed. Reed with the 360. And then the foul. And an opportunity for Reed to tie the game up. Reed, a 50% free throw shooter, a couple of points per ball game, but getting his first start of the year tonight. Trying to go 2 for 2 and tie it. A little too strong. Dominique with it. McCarthy. And Dominique for 3, no good. Rebounded by Jones. He'll get the bucket, draw the personal. Jones a 71% free throw shooter, 7 points a game for Jones. And pushes the lead out to 4. Over it goes to Purefoy. Down low to Living, backs in, surrounded by red jerseys. There's a foul called. And it'll be called on Myers. Well was in the act of shooting when fouled. Nope, he was not. It'll be brought in for the baseline. Pippin's off the floor. Into the game is Lewis for the Coyotes. Out front to Purefoy. Into the paint, shifts to the left side, no good. Purefoy got it back. Over to Whitehurst. Out front, Lewis with it. Lewis missing everything. Purefoy does it. And the lead's cut in half. Topside give to McCarthy. And it's Savoy with it. Norman to Dominique. Feeds into the corner. McCarthy, 3-ball. And a timeout on the floor asked for by the Bears. 5:24 to go.
When you're starting something new, it's never easy. You're going to make mistakes. You'll doubt yourself. But you're in a place that wants you to succeed, thrive. And soon, it will just start to feel right. Suddenly, you'll get it. Your fear will turn to confidence. First-time tasks become second nature. And what seemed impossible is right in front of your eyes. Because once the light bulb goes on, there's no turning back. You may wonder how you got here, and be glad you did. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
.524 to go. Coyotes looking at a 5-point Bear lead. In play to Lewis. Obviously still plenty of time to overcome a 5-point lead. Fan down to Living. Whitehurst into the paint. Back to Living. The reverse. Short. And it is rebounded by Dominique. Stolen away. Purifoy's got it. Does the little Euro. Misfires. Living. Got the rebound, couldn't get it to drop, but does draw the foul. So Living at the stripe. Living getting both. And it becomes a one-possession game with 4:36 to go. Gradney back into the game. Dominique will go out. Norman back into the game. Gradney over to Jones. That is Norman with it. Looking down low and then gives out front. 3 ball. Just a little bit short from Jones. Stolen away. McCarthy. And it's jammed in by Savoy. Back to a 5-point Bear lead. Reed coming out to set the screen. Purifoy into the paint. Rejected by Norman. And there is a walk. And the Bears give it back to the Coyotes. Got our last media timeout of the game. 3:36 to play. Bears by 5.
We are the Pack. We are Coyotes. We are Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
Well, there's a whistle. Let's see what this whistle is about. Foul called on Lewis. And let's see if it's Lewis who exits the game as Savoy comes in. No, it will be McCarthy who leaves. Put in play to Whitehurst. Lewis asking for some living help. And I think that got fingertips. Got a piece of Jones. Reed, though, trims the lead to 3. With 3 minutes to go. Lewis grabbing the feed down low. Jones misses, but he's fouled. Reed fouls. And Jones shoots. First shot no good. It stays a 3-point game. 1 of 2 will go Jones. And we've got another timeout. This one will come at the 2:44 mark in a 65-61 contest.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
They talk about a pretty good view of the floor. Right there in the thick of things, where all the action happens. 2 minutes, 44 seconds left to play. A 4.2 possession game. Coyotes with the basketball, Bears with the lead. Lewis has it out front, brings it into the paint. Creates a little separation. Tipped back in by Purifoy. And we've got another timeout. 2:15, 2:18, make that. Left in the ball game, and we're going to take another break. 2 minutes, 18 seconds left to go. At least in regulation. Should I even bring that up? You know, the possibility of OT. It's been a close game throughout. It's always within the realm of possibility. Over to Lewis. Little contact, loose ball. Reed's got it, hands it back to Purifoy. Pippins with the drive. And Whitehurst for two. We're tied at 65. Well, who in the world brought up that OT thing? And the possibility thereof, 90 seconds to play. Savoy with a handoff to Dominique. 4 on the shot clock. Dominique drops it in from the charity stripe. One minute to go, Pippen. Hands off to Purifoy. Leans in, no good. Got fouled, he'll go to the strike. Committing the foul is Norman. And Purifoy headed to the strike. One cuts the lead in half, 2 ties it up. Well, and there's always that other option that you stay 2 down. But I wasn't going to bring that up. Oh for 2, rebounded by Norman. Bears with a chance to turn it into a 2-possession game. Tipped away, Dominique able to get it back. And he will hit a huge 3. Coyotes have got to score twice. Purifoy drawing the foul. And we'll go to the strike. Dominique charged with a foul. Big free throws here. Purifoy trying to trim it to a 1-possession game with 18 seconds left to go. Into the game, Gradney for the Bears. Out goes Norman. Well, this is big too. It still trims it. Not to a 1-possession game, but it cuts it down to 4. Timeout on the floor asked for by the Coyotes. 18 seconds left. Bears by 4.
When you're starting something new, it's never easy. You're going to make mistakes. You'll doubt yourself. But you're in a place that wants you to succeed, thrive. And soon, it will just start to feel right. Suddenly, you'll get it. Your fear will turn to confidence. First-time tasks become second nature. And what seemed impossible is right in front of your eyes. Because once the light bulb goes on, there's no turning back. You may wonder how you got here, and be glad you did. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
$18 seconds left to play in the game. A two-possession contest. And it will go out of bounds off the Coyotes. Coyotes hoping to get a turnover on the trip down. Didn't. I would assume now they got a foul and do it quickly. They do. Getting McCarthy. McCarthy, the sophomore, shooting. .2 remaining. Shooting is McCarthy. An 83% free throw shooter. Misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Coyotes have got to get points here. They won't. And that might have done it. Let's see. Are we going to go to the other end and shoot free throws or just call it a ball game? We're going to have somebody shooting. And then it's going to be Gradney. And I'm assuming we're going to put a little more time on the clock. There's nothing on it currently. Well, if there's no time, there we go, .4. So the Bears will sweep today, knocking off the Coyotes in the ladies and men's game. And both go 3-1. Ladies and men for the Bears. For the Coyotes, the loss for the men sends them to 3-3 on the year. For the ladies, 1-5. So it's in the books, and it is final. It is a win for Baton Rouge Community College. 72-66 in this one. 74-51 in the ladies' game. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Don't forget, the ACCC has a press conference on Tuesday. We'll be there live, 11 a.m. And it's the introduction of flag football to the conference. Basketball on Thursday and Saturday of next week. Football on Friday. We will see you then. For all the Coastals and JockJive, I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.